Five Nights at Freddy's is a 2023 supernatural horror film that is based on the 2014 video game franchise of the same name by Scott Cawthon, who also is one of the screenwriters for this movie. It's directed by Emma Tammy and stars Josh Hutcherson, Mary Stuart Matherson, and Matthew Lillard. Now, it tells the story of a troubled security guard who can't keep his job, but is also the parent to his younger sister after his parents died. And he must watch her, but he's in a custody battle with his aunt Jane in order to gain custody rights of, Abby. Now, he gets this nighttime security job at Freddy Fazbear's through his career counselor, Steve Raglan, played by Matthew Lillard. It's very great to see Matthew Lillard in a horror film once again. And with everything that's happened, there more so is a dynamic on the human aspect of the storytelling for this movie. The video game is simple, it's straightforward. It became popular and, the notoriety of it became big in 2014 when it was released because a lot of YouTubers, gaming people, and streamers were playing this game and it became big. One of them being Markiplier. Now, Markiplier is not in this film because he has scheduling conflicts with his own film that he wrote and directed. But YouTubers Corey Kenshin, who plays a taxi driver, and Matt Pat plays a waiter, appear in this film. If you miss it, you won't even see them, but they are there. It's a nice little cameo, but it's also based on the aspect of Freddy Fazbear, Chica Foxy, and Bonnie, who are these animatronic mascots who move and kill anyone that is still there after midnight. Basically, the premise of this story is that Mike can't sleep because his younger brother Garrett, when he was 12 years old, was kidnapped. He saw his brother being kidnapped and taken away. And all of a sudden, these 5 young kids come into his dreams. And they're kind of a metaphor for the characters of Chica, Bonnie, Freddy, and Foxy. And you can tell that, which is really good, which is really, really interesting. All the while, his sister, Abby, is coloring and painting and doing drawings and things. And she's drawing these, these kids and how the aspect is. And every single night, Mike puts himself to sleep with sleeping pills, nature sounds, and a poster of Visit Nebraska because he gets that sense of going into that dream state over and over again to find out who actually kidnapped his brother. Also, we see the character of Vanessa in this. Now, this character in the video games did not come about until Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, where Vanessa in that game was a villain, which is really interesting. So they kind of took different things from all video games and put it in this film, which was good, but kind of hurt it in a way. This movie is not scary at all, but the supernatural elements are front and center. The movie's called Five Nights at Freddy's. It's based on Freddy Fazbear. Give me Freddy, Chica, Bonnie, Foxy. Give me them. They're not in it at all as much. There is a moment where a crew or a kind of misfits kind of break into Freddy Fazbear and kind of wreck the place and trash it, and then they're picked off and killed one by one. That was a great sequence. Fantastic. You saw what they're capable of, these animatronics. And then we get a backstory of what these animatronics are. Because if you know in the video games, William Afton is one of the co-owners of Freddy Fazbear and also owns animatronics. He put the two together and he made this. It's kind of that Chuck E. Cheese thing where you go to Chuck E. Cheese and everything, which is also creepy, but you loved it as a kid. You just go there for birthday parties, eat some pizza, have some soda, go home, and your day was fun. The story really drags on at moments. The only time that it's good is when Freddy and his gang are on the screen, and the way they kill people is really fun, especially when Freddy does one of his kills. It's really, really good. The aspect of the video game is not there at all. You don't see that quick flash of something and then it stays on it, but then it goes away. It's just, the light flickers, you see them, light flickers, they're gone. I wanted more of that. I wanted more of the video game feel and experience to it. It just didn't have that. The directing is great. The aspect of what it is fun. You could tell there are some moments of CGI, but then there are also moments where you see it's 100% animatronics and definitely people in the animatronics moving these robots, which I liked. The design of each character was A plus to the point of what you see in the video games, which was absolutely phenomenal. The movie is 109 minutes long, maybe a little bit too long. It had a budget of $20 million, and it actually was released in theaters and simultaneously on October 27, 2023 by Universal Pictures, which also released it on their streaming service, Peacock, or its Peacock streaming service for that matter. I didn't like how everything was put together. The parts where I wanted more of Freddy, didn't get it. The aspect of what Mike figures out and how he figures out that and who took his little brother and how everything comes together and how Vanessa plays a part in it is really interesting. There are really great Easter eggs in this from, all the video games put in to this film. And there's also nice Easter eggs to Matthew Lillard's character where he played Stu in Scream. It's really fun. I loved it. Matthew Lillard, I wanted more of in this movie, but he just wasn't in it that much. I didn't feel like it was part of something that, oh, okay, I'm feeling for these characters. Great. Abby as a character is great. You can really feel for her. You understand, and you understand what Mike's going through. He can't keep a job. He's sleeping on the job, but he's doing things in order to find what happened to his brother so many years ago when he was 12 years old. But I wanted more. I wanted something scary. I wanted something more interesting. It just wasn't. The movie trailers are 100 times better than what this entire film is. The movie is PG-13 when it should not have been. I'm hoping there's an R-rated cut because if so, then it's great. I would say watch this on Peacock, stay home, enjoy it, because if you go to the movie theaters, you're going to have people screaming at scenes where you're not really going to, you're like, it's a jump, what, there's no point into it. It's just not really necessary. As I'm watching it, I'm like, holy shit, that was clever, that was good, I like that. But as a story, it just felt all over the place, it wasn't connecting, and it's just, you could tell where the movie was going good, and then all of a sudden they had to end it because they knew they were getting to a certain page number in the script, and they're like, all right, let's put everything together. The reveal is really, really fun and really, really interesting, but it's just felt like it's like, okay, how is the aspect of this going? If you know the lore, the myth, the entire story of Five Nights at Freddy's that's based on the video game and William Afton and what he did with the missing kids and the aspect and the real brutality and cruelty that he did, then you'll understand where everything is. But then if you see Vanessa in this, it's like, oh, okay, she's now the police officer, but she was in security breach. But then how is that working? It's kind of a movie that was all over the place, but it just didn't feel cohesive. If this makes a certain amount of at the box office, I'm pretty sure we're going to get a few more movies. Just don't make a lot of movies like the video games. There's 6+ video games and then the spin-offs. Don't give us that in movies. If you come up with a clever story for part 2, part 3 for that matter as well, make it really interesting, intriguing, and show us the lore of what happened. Maybe William Afton's kind of backstory, what made him do this, which is always a fun thing. That's what probably will happen in part 2. But otherwise, for part 1, the aspect was there. It just didn't fit the mold of what a horror film should be. And it's not a horror film. It's more of a thriller. The supernatural element is there between Abby and how everything is connected, and that was it. For me, Five Nights at Freddy's gets 2 out of 5 stars. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought about Five Nights at Freddy's. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you think of it? What did you think about the aspect of this being based on the video game franchise of the same name? Do you like the video games more? Or did you like that? Do you think that this was a good kind of try at making this into a film? Did you want more of Freddy and his friends? Who was your favorite character? Did you like that this was animatronics and not CGI? And do you think that the film was rushed near the end when it got to the ending? And do you think it was scary, and did you jump, or were you scared? And do you think there'll be sequels if this film is popular enough with the pop culture or mainstream going audience who actually know what this is? And for people or, adults my age who just know this by kind of myth and lore by seeing others play it, then you'll be like, oh, okay, but this is for someone half my age in their teens, you know, growing up and knowing like, oh, 10 years ago, it's like, hey, I remember that. Let me go see this movie. Then that's for them. And, you know, parents can go take their kids to a horror movie where they can enjoy it. It's PG-13. Nothing scary about it. Nothing really too bloody, just blood splatter here and there and frightening subliminal image moments. But that was it. Let me know in the comment section below about all the questions I just asked. And let me know what rating you would give Five Nights at Freddy's. And be sure you click that subscribe button and hit that notification bell for new review videos on my channel. I will see you all in the next review video. I'm Mr. Filmstock, and thank you so much for tuning in.